Shalom, shalom, kahala Yahweh. All praise to Yahweh. What's going on, y'all? This is gonna be a one about the Philistines, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attempt to point out who I see and who I believe they are today, based off of what I read in the Torah and when I look at history. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, I trust what I read. I trust every word in the Torah. I don't trust man. So through faith and prayer and asking Yahweh to help me, I think he showed me a little something on this one. This should be definitely interesting. Let's just go ahead and get a small, quick one. Something happens to the Philistines, and it changes them forever. And this has definitely been pointed out. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse number 1. The word of Samuel befell all of Israel. Israel went out to war against the Philistines. They encamped at Ebenezer. While the Philistines encamped at Aphek, the Philistines arrayed themselves opposite of the land of Israel, and the battle spread. Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew about 40,000 men in the battlefield. So we lost this war to the Philistines. This is facts, all right? The people came to camp, and the elders of Israel said, "Why did Yahweh smite us today before the Philistines? Let us take with us to Shiloh the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, that he may come in our midst, and save us from the hands of our enemies." So they're basically like, let's just go get the ark. Let's just deal with it like it. Verse number 4. So the people went to Shiloh and carried it from the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, master of legions, who dwells on the top of the cherub, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, it says, were along with the ark of the covenant of Elohim. When the ark of the covenant of Yahweh arrived at the camp of Israel, sounded the great shofar and the blast, and the ground shook. So when they brought it, it caused like a small earthquake. The Philistines heard the sound of the blast, and they said, "What is the sound of this great blast in the camp of the Hebrews?" And they became aware of the ark of Yahweh had come to camp. And I want y'all to pay attention. And it says, the Philistines were afraid, as they said, Elohim has come to camp. And they said, "Woe to us, for such a thing had not happened yesterday or the day before." So let's stop. That's actually letting you know we hadn't been at war with these people yet. Moses, Joshua, we had still not encountered these people yet. And that's going to become important when it comes down to thinking about their location. We're going to get to that one, because we're going to tie this into who they are. It says, verse number 8, "Woe to us! Who will save us from the hand of the mighty Elohim? This is the Elohim who struck the Egyptians with all the plagues of in the wilderness. Be strong, O men Philistines, lest you become enslaved to the Hebrews that have been enslaved to you." Now, when were we enslaved? We was enslaved to their ancestors, the Egyptians. Because let's keep in mind, let's do a little track. We'll come back. So let's do a little track real quick. Let's go to Genesis 10 and go ahead and take a look at who they are. I always like to line everybody up so everybody kind of knows who we're dealing with. Like Genesis 10. All right. When we go to Genesis 10:13, and Mizrahim begot Ludaman, Anamim, Ledaman, Naphthalim, Patharizim, and Kashalim, whence the Philistine came forth, and Cathorium. See that? So they are descendants of the Egyptians. Let's go back. All right. So now we know they are the descendants of the Egyptians. We just seen their family line. And we're going to show you how this all lines up. All right. So, and we're going to only hit verse number 12 just to get this clear to show that we lost this war. Let's keep going. It says, so the Philistines, this is 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse number 10. So the Philistines fought Israel, was smitten, and they ran every man to the tents of the bow was very great. 30,000 foot soldiers fell from Israel, and the ark of Elohim was taken, and the two sons Eli, Hophni, and Phinehas died. A Benjamite man ran from the battlefront. He came to Shiloh that day, clothing ripped and dirt upon his head, so he done got beat up. Okay, he been in war. He done got beat up. And we're gonna take a quick pause on that. And what are we just demonstrating? That we lost the war to the Philistines, right? So let's go real quick. Take a quick look at what I truly believe they look like in the beginning. That's gonna be a relief from the Jector Temple, relief from Menenet Habu Temple. This is the Philistines. This is what I believe they look like at first. I want you to take note to something. Notice, they don't have black hair. I want you to peep that. That's already number one. Their hair is not exactly an afro. And number two, keep this headband in mind, okay? I want you to keep this headband in mind. And because something happens to these people. And then let's go on down. So let's go down to chapter number 5. The Philistines had taken the ark of Elohim and brought it to Ebenezer and Ashdod. And the Philistines took the ark of Elohim and brought it to the house of Dagon, placing it next to Dagon. And the Ashdodites arose early the next day, and behold, Dagon had fallen upon his face and upon the ground before the ark of Yahweh. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Dagon is their priesthood. Am I saying Dagon is the Philistines? No. But I believe Dagon is the priesthood for the Philistines. So let's take a quick look at Dagon. And I know some of y'all probably already know this, but this is Dagon. Some people can get this or not. The Dagon is the Dogon tribe. That is exactly who Dagon is right here in the Torah. And just for y'all, and we're going to prove that in just a second. We're going to prove that in just 1 second. So let's keep going. Now, clearly, when we just read here, when they took the ark and placed it near the idol kept getting destroyed. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this now. Forgive me for my hand. Just bear with me. Let's get this now. So, when we go to, all right. So that's 1 Samuel. All right. Now, Philistines took the God and brought it to Dagon. So we're going to see Hebrew H1712. Let's get on that. And what are we going to see? Dagon, a fish. A Philistine deity of fertility represented with the face and hands of a man and the tail of a fish. We go down. Great fish to the Chaldean lexicon. So now let's go back. What is the Dogon god? The Dogons, they worship these fish people. Okay? And now you see it clearly. I typed in Dogon tribe gods, and their gods are these fish people. So now we know certainly that Dagon is the Dogon tribe. And this would be their priesthood and their sorcerers as well. We won't get that. We're going to get that. And they're going to jump down to number 6 real quick. chapter 6, it says the ark of Yahweh had been in the land of the Philistines for 7 months. The Philistines called upon the priests and the sorcerers, saying, this is stop, called upon the priest and the sorcerers, right? So we know now that Dagon is this Dogon tribe, right? So let's take another look at them. The priest and the sorcerers, right? And this ain't no anti-African thing. This is a truth thing. You handle that or not. This is the priesthood for the Philistines, right? So let's prove that. What is the Philistine deity? See that? The Philistine deity is the fish man. This is the same Dogon tribe priesthood. I'm not telling you the Philistines or the Dogon tribe. It's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you their priesthood is the Dogon tribe and their deities were their deities. See that? So let's go back. And let's jump back up. Now we're going to show you what happens to these people. And this is 1 Samuel chapter 5. Let's start verse number 7. And the men of Ashdod saw that it was so that they let the ark of God, the ark of Elohim of Israel, not stay with us, for its hand had been hard against us. You know, it's been jacking them up. And against Dagon, our God, they summoned and gathered all the governors of the Philistines, and they said, What shall we do about the ark of God of Israel? And it says, and they replied, let the ark of God of Israel be transferred to Gath. So that they transferred the ark of God of Israel. And it was after that they transferred that the hand of Yahweh was set against the city, causing great commotion. He struck the people in the city from the small to the great, and he afflicted them internally. You see that? With hemorrhoids. Now let's go back. Internally, that also means like your genetics, right? So he struck them on the outside and on the inside to where these people changed. So let's get that real quick. And I'm going to tell you who I think these people are in just a second. So we know Yahweh has put this on them. So let's go back. All right. It took Ashdod. So let's get that. Verse number 9. And it was so that after this they had carried about the hand, and it was so that after they carried it about the hand of Yahweh was against the city, and a very great destruction, and he smote the men of the city, both small and great, and they had emeralds in their secret parts, their insides. Let's go and get that. Emeralds. And I want to show y'all something because this has something to do with leprosy too. And what that word is going to be tek-or, and that's going to be from unused root meaning to burn or boil. Remember, from inflammation, especially a tumor of the anus or perineum. It says especially, but it doesn't say only. It says especially. Tumors, but long story short, this right here is not just saying it's a tumor, it's telling you that it works like that. And you see one reference, Deuteronomy 28:27, the Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt. So once again, this is a disease. This is a skin disease as well. But remember, Yahweh said he struck them with this on the inside and the outside. So this is something that's with them in their secret places, internally. So they've been struck, right? So since they've been struck, then we're going to jump up to 1 Samuel chapter 6 now, and we're going to hit starting at verse 17. These are the golden hemorrhoids that the Philistines had sent guilt offerings to Yahweh for Ashdod, one for Gaza, and one for Ashkelon, and one for Gath, and one for Ekron. These are the 5 cities of the Philistines. A golden mice corresponded to the number of the Philistines, and the 5 governors who ruled from the fortified city until the open village, until the great morning stone, which was upon which they placed the ark of Yahweh, and this day in the field of Joshua and Beth Sheshemite. And he smote some of the men of Beth Shemesh, because they peered disrespectfully into the ark, and he struck among them 70 men, 70 and 50,000 men. You see that? And I want you to peep this. It says, the people mourned because Yahweh had smitten the people with a great blow. And the people of Beth Shemesh said, who can possibly stand before Yahweh, this holy God? To whom among us can the ark ascend? And they sent emissaries of the inhabitants to Karath Jearim, saying, the Philistines have returned the ark of Yahweh. Come down and bring it up unto yourselves. So they basically said, we done brought it as far as we going to bring it. You're going to have to come get and do the rest, because we getting jacked up dealing with this. I want you to keep all of this in mind, y'all. Now, when you start to go look up who the Philistines are, it shows you this. This is what it brings you up to. But I want to show y'all something, how this is true. I showed you how they looked at first, before leprosy. And we're going to show you how they look now. I want you to pay close attention. He's got a headband, straight hair, box, square face. You see how his ears stick off, right? All right. Now remember what the Philistines did? They stole the ark. And they had the ark, right? So, who also has made a claim to having the ark? The Japanese. So yes, I'm telling you now, I believe that the Japanese are the Philistines. Many brothers done seen this. I know. And they have many depictions of the ark. It's not just this one. They have many depictions of this ark over there. But see, the thing about their history is they can't understand. They know it's in their history. They just can't understand why. And I think we're going to help them. We're going to attempt to help them try that. 1 second, y'all. All right, sorry about that. Kids. Sorry. I know I got y'all right in the middle of it. Okay. Let's go on back to what we was doing. So, I'm going to say this now. I believe the Japanese are the Philistines of the Torah, and I'm going to show you why I say that. When we look at these people, when you pull these people up after leprosy, after the ark, this is what you see on the walls of Egypt. They'll tell you, These are the Philistines. But here's the problem. They're telling the truth, but they're not telling the whole truth. These are the Philistines, but this is after the ark. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove this to you. Remember the headband. Straight hair, right? I want you to take a look. In Japan, that headband is an ancient custom. That goes back to before there was ever in Japan. I want you to look at the man's face. Look at his ears. Look at the shape of his face. Look at his hair. Look at that headband. I want you to look at his face. Look at his headband. Look at that straight hair, sticking straight up. One more time. And to my brother Judah and I, you know, this ain't no shots against nobody. You know, this is just a part of my lesson. But look at his hair. Headband, facial structure. Headband, facial structure, straight hair. So, let's go to another thing. We're going to go up to 1 Samuel, and we're going to take a look at Goliath. We're going to take a look at his armor, because his armor describes something that this same culture of people have. So that's going to be 1 Samuel chapter 17. And the Philistines assembled their camps for war and assembled themselves at Shush, that is Judah. And they encamped between Shuth and Askat, that word is hard, and the Ephas of Damim. So Saul and the people of Israel assembled themselves and encamped in the Teberith Valley, and they arranged to war against the Philistines. Now here go the key. The Philistines were standing on the mount of one side, and Yashaal was standing on the mount on the other side, and the valley was between them. A champion went forth from the Philistine camps, whose name was Goliath of Gath, and his height was 6 cubits and 1 span. Now listen to his armor. And he had a copper helmet on his head, and was wearing armor of mail, and the weight of the armor was 5,000 copper shekels, and he had a copper shield on his legs. See that? And the copper of the neck guard between his shoulders, and the staff of his spear. Now I want you to repeat that again. He says he had a copper shield on his legs and a copper neck guard between his shoulders, and the staff of his spear was like weaver's beam, and the blade of his spear weighed 600 iron shekels. Now I want you to pay attention to that. When you look at the Philistines and you look at them historically, you don't see all of that. See what I'm saying? You don't see all of that. But here go the thing. When I look at other people, I see that. And I'm going to read it. And I want you to take a look. I don't care how much y'all think I'm reaching. Look at his armor. And I'm going to read that again. I want you to pay close attention. And before, you know what, just for the case, before we even go into that, you look at this. There is giantism among these people. Okay? So for anybody who think I'm reaching real crazy, I might be. But there is giantism among these people. And when you look at the armor, that Goliath is wearing, it is similar to what this man has on. And I'm going to prove that. It says, let's start verse number 5. He had a copper helmet, keep this in your mind, on his head, and it was wearing the armor of mail. So what is the armor of mail? Do these people wear the armor of mail? Let's take a look. You see that? That's the armor of mail right there. What is the armor of male? It's the little rings of metal that they just keep putting together. This is the armor of male. So if this is the armor of male that Goliath has on, I want to see that again. And he had a copper helmet on his head, and it was wearing the armor of male. See that? And the weight of his armor was 5,000 copper shekels, and he had a copper shield on his legs and a copper neck guard between his shoulders. He had armor on his legs, an arm guard, and this is clearly like a neck guard as well. Look how high it is. The armor of male. He has on the armor of male, and we all know this. Where is it at? We all know these people are very well known for what? Having the what? These very long spears that are really big. Listen to what it says. Look at it. And then look at it. He has on the armor of male. And I dropped my pen. Let's go get it. He has on the armor of male and a copper shield on his legs and a neck guard between his shoulders. And the staff of his spear was like the weaver's beam, and the blade of his spear was 600 iron shekels. The armor of male, leg shields, shield around his neck, arm guards. And these people are known to have some of the most ridiculous spears. Like I said, to me, that is Goliath. That is one of the best depictions of Goliath I could see. And so then I want to show how some of this connects. Now let's go back. Now remember, these people know they have this in their history, but they just don't know how to completely link it. But they know this is in their history, right? Now then you want to start making some connections, right? So now remember, we've already went over, when you look at what is the earliest instructor of mankind's letter. No, this ain't nothing but a fallen angel. Let's not forget that. Architecture, geometry, botany, agriculture. Yeah. According to the Berrius' creation, creature appeared of the Persian Gulf, bordering the ancient Babylon. So ancient Babylon had the same fish deity as well. And I'm going to show you who else worshiped this fish deity. Because the Philistines did. Now, this is a Hamite thing. The Philistines worshiped the fish god. And let's take a look at who else worships the fish god. Japan. They have the fish god that they still worship today. And they have memory of having the ark. Now I'm going to continue to tell y'all, these are the Philistines. Now I want to show you something real interesting. Let's go to Psalm 83. Let me grab my pen real quick. One second. Grab my pen real quick. All right. Psalm 83, verse number 7. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab, Hagarites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, Philistia, with the inhabitants of Tyre. I want to show y'all something else. So, they talked about in Psalm 83. Because, see, they're actually going to tell you, They could be the descendants of the Israelites, but I believe these are the Philistines. And they just don't remember that they're the Philistines. Remember, their priesthood worships the fish gods. And guess where else we can find the fish gods? Guess who else dealt with it too? Yeah, we're going to throw y'all in there too. This is a Hamite thing. Yeah, some of the oldest, because if you really want to get into the whole Hamite thing, the oldest depiction, correct me if I'm wrong, but the oldest depiction of Osiris is a baboon. The oldest depiction of this Isis character is a fish. But I digress. We'll come back to that. But guess what? The Egyptians, they dealt with this fish thing too. So I'm just want to show y'all that there is major connections between all of this. And like I said, pull up picture of samurai and look at his armor. Look up a samurai's armor. And pull up 1 Samuel chapter 17 and read Goliath's armor. And you will see this leg shield, arm shield, big helmet, and all of this protects his neck and the armor of mail. You've been told these are samurais. What if these are just the Philistine warriors? And like I said, because remember, Yahweh smote these people. They wasn't like this at first. It was like this. Pull up any search engine right now, pull up Philistine, and that's the first picture you're going to see right there. But this picture has the headband. The headband. So these are the same customs. These are the same people, y'all. They worship the fish god. So says the Torah shows that. Go up. And the Philistines took the ark of 1 Samuel chapter 5, verse number 1. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Embelezer to Ashdod. And when the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it to the house of Dagon. You see that? So, this is why I wholeheartedly believe the Japanese still today worship this fish god. So, I mean, you just got to put it all in perspective. I believe 100% these are the Philistines because they match the story in the Torah. The only thing is the veil, as we said, as the Torah says, the veil was on all nations. And they could not remember who they are, just like we couldn't remember who we were. And they did not look like this at first. They looked like this because they stole the Ark of the Covenant back then. Now, they look like this. Remember, my man, his face is here. Remember my man, his face is here. I want to say all praise to Yahweh, Kahala Yahweh. Thank you for anybody who tuned in. I'm always open to build or expand. Till then, Shalom.